Yes. Dishonoring of thy father and thy mother, as the Lord thy God hath commanded thee, that thy days may be prolonged, and that it may go well with thee. Yeah. In the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. Oh, you know, I think that we have built a whole country, yes, that needs to be repaired. Pooch. You know, I spent some time thinking about the military, yes, those that are enlisted. Pooch. It seems that we can use the military for any natural disaster. Right. You can send in the National Guard to remove snow if there's a lot of snow. Yeah. Quite possibly the Army and the Navy, they can be deployed anytime that there's a natural disaster. But at what point is there the natural disaster of the United States of America and not really caring about the actual nation itself? Now, let's say I had wanted, yes, to have what's known as the Office of Coordination. That's what I called it, yes. That in every county of the United States of America, there would be employees that would oversee, right, the repair of the United States. And when I look at the fairgrounds, yeah, I thought somebody took the electric grid and decided to sew it into the asses of those that are citizens. Yes. And then they had some sort of technology that they could remove the dirt. Yeah. And then they could make dogs of all of us. So now, when I say the fairgrounds, why don't you just give me the blueprints of the original designed fairgrounds in every county? Yes, the electric grid, and then any dirt that's been removed underneath them so that you could hide, yes, your tyranny. Mm. Now, my thought was we'd put it back to the way that it was when it was first built, and it could be that the military, yes, could be deployed in every county of the United States when it's the natural disaster. Ouch! Of counties just not having enough money to pay for the upkeep necessary to have these special places known as fairgrounds. Yeah. Now, somehow we had the money to build them originally, hope, but for 50 to 150 years, yeah, we don't have the money. We have the money to continue to support those that are in office. Yes. See, this oath of office where you said you would support and defend, and then I said, well, my constitutional rights are being violated. And I'm that class of citizen that just can't get anyone to enforce the laws of the United States. What if I declared a natural disaster and then I told the military, yes, you're going to have to use the enlisted personnel to fix up all the disrepair of this nation? Now, it's not posse comitas, is it? No. See, I just lease a building in any county of the United States. I put some desks in there, some desktops, yes. Internet access, yes. And then I asked the military, yeah, why don't you use those in the all volunteer army to move to this location, right, and fix up all the shit that's broken? Pouch! Now, this office of coordination, there'll be a few women that'll travel to wherever I'm at. Yes. They'll come to work and I'll be able to understand exactly what's happening. Yes. Now, I thought the United States of America is not in actual control of its own nation. As if somebody decided, well, the military can never be in a county of the United States because sheriffs right now thought that they did not have the legal right to make repairs on any government property. Now, it's a little different than building the wall. I think that contractors have to be used to build something. Yes. But if the natural disaster known as the age of the nation, how long this shit's been there, 50 to 100 years, I think it looks like it's in disrepair. Painting it, fixing it up, putting in innovations, making it efficient. Yes, kind of setting it up for the next 100 years because somebody thought that they would completely destroy the nation in their own super top secret way. Now, I know that we had the joint bases. Yes. Somebody in the 90s decided to put bases together, creating efficiencies. I thought if we separated those bases, right, and put 100 small bases throughout the United States, yes, in the lowest income counties of the United States, we could lease property for 20 to 50 years. Yeah. Put a desk in and a desktop, and all the administrative work of the United States military could stimulate the economy of the poorest counties of the United States. Now, you'd be surprised out of 1.2 million American citizens right now. This whole concept of we're a state and we're going to have these huge military joint bases where all the money's going to be complete concentrated, yes, in certain geographic areas, and then those cities and those counties and those states would say, well, I'm sorry, you can't leave the base, okay, you have to stay on the base and you do not have anything to say. Now, my thought was, if I can buy a house in Detroit for $60,000 and the same square footage costs in Virginia, yes. Where is it that the Pentagon is at? Is it in Washington, D.C.? I mean, exactly where the fuck is the Pentagon? For $600,000, those in the military would have less out of pocket expense to live in the poorest communities of the United States. You know, if you saved that money, yes, you bought yourself a nice little place at, oh, let's say 100,000. You looked at the mortgage. Yes. You looked at your actual income. Yes. It's possible that you could retire after 20 years with having $1 million in retirement savings and having a pension. Now, for every idiot that happens to be in the fucking army right now that thought, well, I've got to live in the most expensive places of the United States because that's where the joint bases are. I found that housing is a big problem for those in the military. Now, for every poor community, why don't you get me the 100 poorest communities of the United States and get me every county fairground where it might be 20 to 50 individuals from whatever branch of the military that thought, well, let's fix it up. I'm getting paid every month and we're not having a war right now. Yes, it is. Now, I know, can you contribute to the communities of the United States because their taxation pays for your actual wages? You know, the $650 billion we're spending every year? Yes. It seems like it's all focused on individual bases that are joint bases because somebody thought in the 90s. Now, let's say that the military decided to cooperate with me because I don't know what the fuck you do every day without a war. Pooch! Seems like you're sitting around, kind of twiddling your thumbs, looking at your computer. But my thought is, well, I know there are empty buildings in every county of the United States where you could move there. Yes. And you could fix it up. And then if there's any problems with the actual infrastructure of the county, because the sheriff or the police chief right now, you could legally be there because of the national emergency known as the eroding of the actual infrastructure of this great nation.